like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to dig in.
Awesome. Well, today we're going to jump headfirst into this legal battle that's rocking the music and entertainment world.
Oh, yeah. This one's a doozy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. We're looking at excerpts from a CNN article that came out just a couple of days ago, December 18th, 2024, and it covers this lawsuit, filed by the attorney Tony Buzbee.
Yeah, I know him. High-profile lawyer out of Houston.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
And get this, he's going after Roc Nation, Jay-Z's company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Buzbee's claiming they're trying to sabotage, like straight up sabotage his entire firm.
How's that?
By convincing his clients to, wait for it, sue him.
Oh, that's a twist.
It's messy, right? So buckle up because we're about to unpack this whole crazy story.
I am all ears. What I find fascinating is how many big names are tangled up in this.
Yeah.
And the accusations are flying. It's like a real-life legal drama.
It totally is. Yeah. Before we get too deep, though, let's do a quick roll call for everyone listening.
Yeah.
The who's who in this whole thing.
Right. Get the players straight.
Exactly. So we've got Tony Buzbee, already mentioned him, the lawyer, big reputation. Then, of course, there's Jay-Z, also known as Sean Carter, rapper, entrepreneur, the force behind Roc Nation.
Right. Can't forget about him, a giant in the industry.
And rounding out our main players, we have Sean Diddy Combs, another major figure in music.
It's interesting, right? You've got a lawyer known for taking on big cases, a music mogul who's built an empire, and then Diddy, caught in the crossfire. The power dynamics here are, off the charts.
Oh, for sure. And this whole legal mess stems from a lawsuit filed by, it's a Jane Doe. She's represented by Buzbee, and she's accusing both Diddy and Jay-Z of rape.
Wow. And this allegedly happened, over 20 years ago?
Yeah, over 2 decades. She's only 13 at the time.
That's heavy. It's super important to remember, though, that these are just allegations, not proven facts, The legal system is there to figure out what really went down.
Right, exactly. Innocent until proven guilty, the whole bit. But Jay-Z, he's not just sitting back. He's come out swinging, denying everything, and he's actually suing Buzbee for extortion.
Extortion.
Right.
So basically, Carter is saying Buzbee is using this lawsuit to try and get money out of him, probably to avoid bad publicity.
That's the gist of it, yeah. Trying to pressure him into a settlement. But here's where it gets really interesting. Buzbee isn't backing down at all. He's filed a countersuit. And get this, he's accusing Roc Nation and Carter's legal team of, wait for it, trying to get his clients to sue him.
Whoa. Talk about a bold move. He's saying they're trying to take down his whole firm. Is that even legal?
Well, that's what the courts are going to have to figure out. Buzbee's painting this picture of like a spy movie or something. He says they use these shadowy operatives, some even pretending to be officials from Texas, like showing fake badges, to contact over 24 of his clients.
Shadowy operatives, huh? He's really playing up the drama, but it does make you wonder if there's something fishy going on.
Yeah, the whole thing is pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
And to make it even more so, Buzbee claims he's got audio recordings of these shady interactions, even included transcripts in the lawsuit.
Those recordings could be huge, If they're legit and they back up his claims, that's hard evidence. But CNN said they haven't been able to verify them yet, right?
Yeah, that's true. We got to keep that in mind. So the question is, why would Roc Nation go to such lengths, right? What's Buzbee's theory?
Yeah, what's his angle?
Well, according to him, they were trying to stop him from pursuing those 20 lawsuits his firm filed against Diddy.
So maybe it wasn't just about protecting Jay-Z, but Diddy too. It's almost like, could they be trying to obstruct justice? That's for the courts to decide, but it's a thought, right?
For sure. It makes you think. Now, as you can probably guess, both Roc Nation and Quinn Manuel, that's Carter's law firm, they're denying everything. They're calling Buzbee's lawsuit, let me quote this, baloney and frivolous. Basically saying he's making it all up.
Right. So it's a classic he said, she said. Someone's lying. But who? We need the courts to dig in and figure out the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And just to make things even more complicated, there's another player we need to talk about, Alex Spiro.
Oh, yeah. Jay-Z's lawyer.
Yep. And he's filed a separate motion in court. He's not just defending Jay-Z. He's going after Jane Doe's complaint directly, trying to get the whole thing thrown out.
Really? That's aggressive.
It is. He's claiming that Buzbee didn't vet Doe's allegations properly before filing the lawsuit.
So he's trying to discredit Buzbee, and by extension, Doe's whole case.
Yeah, basically saying Buzbee's incompetent or didn't do his job right. But Buzbee's fighting back, saying his firm did vet the claims, interviews, background check, the whole thing. But then he admits they're still investigating.
Huh. So he's kind of playing both sides, defending his work, but also saying it's not finished. This is messy.
It is, right. A total back and forth, accusations flying everywhere. It's hard to keep it all straight.
That's high-stakes litigation for you. Everyone's spinning the story, trying to win the narrative. It's going to be a wild ride.
It definitely will be. All right, so we've laid out the basics, but there's a lot more to uncover here. Let's dive into some of the more explosive details of Buzbee's claims.
Okay, so let's get into some of these more, explosive things Buzbee is claiming, especially about Roc Nation.
Yeah, the juicy details, right? Buzbee's lawsuit, it's not just about them interfering. He's saying this was like a planned attack, a scheme to take him down.
Interesting. What I find really interesting is how detailed he gets in the lawsuit. Like he's claiming these, shadowy operatives he keeps talking about. They didn't just contact his old clients. They actually offered them money to sue him.
It's crazy, right? Like straight out of a movie, like you said before. And he's even saying someone pretended to be, like officials from Texas, flashing fake badges and stuff.
Wow. If I was one of his former clients and some guy shows up flashing a badge, talking about lawsuits, I might be inclined to believe him, It's pretty messed up if that's what they were doing.
Yeah, it's definitely a manipulative tactic.
Yeah.
And it gets even wilder, he says. They were offering people like $10,000 just to file a lawsuit against him, trying to buy them off.
10 grand. That's a lot of money. I mean, it suggests that this wasn't just some, random thing. This took planning, resources.
Right.
Somebody wanted to cause him trouble.
And Buzbee says he has proof, right? He keeps bringing up these audio recordings, says they've got conversations between these operatives and his clients, talking about the offers, the whole plan.
Those recordings are going to be crucial. If they're real, that's a smoking gun. But we still haven't seen independent confirmation, right?
True, CNN hasn't verified them yet. But let's say they are real. Why do all this? What's the point of targeting Buzbee so aggressively?
Well, Buzbee thinks he knows why. He's saying this whole thing was to shut down those 20 lawsuits his firm filed against Diddy.
So they're trying to protect Diddy by going after the lawyer representing his accusers.
That's what he's saying. And if it's true, that brings up a whole other issue, like, is this obstruction of justice? Are they interfering with the legal process? Big questions.
Huge questions.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we talked about earlier, the power dynamics and all of this. Imagine having that kind of pull that you can just shut down lawsuits against you or your friends. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's a bit unsettling, to say the least. This case is fascinating because it really digs into that, the legal system and how money and power can twist things.
Totally. And of course, Roc Nation and Quinn Emanuel, they're not just taking this quietly. They've denied everything pretty forcefully.
Oh, yeah. They went all in on their denials. Roc Nation even called Buzbee's lawsuit a pathetic attempt to distract and deflect. They also said true justice will be served soon. It almost sounds like a threat,
It does, right? Like they're saying, watch out, Buzbee and Quinn Emanuel. They just flat out denied any involvement. They said, and I'm quoting here, "We have no idea what he's talking about when it comes to these claims of soliciting his clients."
So it's a complete clash of stories, right? Buzbee's over here talking about this elaborate conspiracy, and they're saying he's making it all up. Who do you believe?
It's tough to say. It'll be interesting to see what evidence comes out, especially those recordings.
Yeah.
But we also got to talk more about Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, and what he's doing to get Jane Doe's complaint thrown out.
Yeah.
He's really going after Buzbee, saying he didn't properly vet her allegations.
Yeah, that's a serious accusation. He's essentially saying Buzbee's either incompetent or he's unethical. Like he filed this lawsuit without doing his homework. If that's true, it could be a big problem for Buzbee.
Is Spiro just doing this to protect Jay-Z? Or does he genuinely think Buzbee messed up? It's hard to know.
It's possible he sees real flaws in the case, but it could also be a strategy, right? Shift the attention onto Buzbee, put him on the defensive.
Yeah, classic legal move, attack the other lawyer, make people doubt the whole case.
Exactly. But Buzbee, he's not backing down either. He says they did vet the claims, interviews, background checks, all that. But then he says the investigation is still ongoing.
That's interesting. So he's defending his work, but also admitting it's not finished. It's like he's trying to walk a tightrope.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He needs his client to trust him, but he can't make promises he can't keep.
This whole thing is just like layers upon layers, accusations, denials, legal tactics. It's hard to keep it all straight.
High-stakes litigation, it's like a chess match. Every move matters, every word is calculated, and the stakes are high: reputations, careers, maybe even justice itself. It's more than just a he said, she said. It's about power, influence, and the struggle for justice when you're going up against people with a lot of both.
You're right. It's bigger than just this one lawsuit. It makes you think about the whole system. All right, so we've dug into the details, but let's step back now and think about the bigger picture. What are the implications of all this?
All right, so we've really gone deep on this one, huh? Accusations, denials, legal strategies, it's a lot to process. So, what does it all mean? What are we taking away from this whole mess?
What gets me is how this case really shows how complicated the legal system can be, especially when you've got celebrities, big money, all that involved. It's not always simple and straightforward.
No kidding. I mean, we've got Buzbee saying Roc Nation went all out to destroy his firm, stop his lawsuits against Diddy.
Yeah, and his whole case, remember, is built on this idea that they use these, shadowy operatives to intimidate his clients. And then there are those recordings, which, if they're real, could be a game changer.
But Roc Nation and Quinn Emanuel, they're not budging, right? They're basically saying Buzbee's making it all up. Yeah, and their denials are so strong, so confident. I mean, it almost makes you wonder if Buzbee might have overplayed his hand. They could spin this whole thing to make him look bad, like he's desperate, willing to say anything.
It's interesting, right? Because this isn't just playing out in court, it's playing out in the media, too. Everyone's speculating, trying to figure out who's telling the truth. And then there's Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, trying to get Doe's complaint thrown out, saying Buzbee didn't vet her claims properly.
Yeah, and that brings up a whole other question, doesn't it? Where's the line for lawyers? Are they just supposed to win, no matter what? Or is it about finding the truth, making sure justice is served?
It's a good question. This case really makes you think about the ethics of the whole legal profession. But it also makes you think about, due diligence, like you said, not just for lawyers, but for anyone. We got to be critical thinkers, not just believe everything we hear.
Exactly. Don't take things at face value. Do your own research. And, this case, it goes beyond the legal stuff. It's about power, influence, and how hard it can be for everyday people to get justice when they're up against powerful figures.
It's true. It's what if those shadowy operatives had gone after someone who wasn't a big-time lawyer? Someone without the resources to fight back. It's kind of scary to think about.
It is. It shows how access to justice isn't always equal. It depends on who you are, how much money you have, who you know.
Yeah, it's a tough reality. So we're ending this deep dive with more questions than answers, I guess. Will we ever know the truth? Will anyone be held accountable? We'll have to wait and see.
But this case, it started a conversation, right, about power, about accountability, about what it really means to seek justice when the playing field isn't level. And those conversations are important.
They are. They make us think about the systems we live in, the ways power operates. So thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's given you something to think about, something to discuss. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll see you next time.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.